Mortal Kombat 2 starts filming in Australia this summer. The Mortal Kombat reboot sequel is moving forward with plans on the board to start shooting this summer. Recently, it had been reported that Mortal Kombat 2 would start filming in June in Australia, intended to be wrapped by September. The news has been confirmed by producer Todd Garner, who responded to a post on Twitter of the announcement from Geek Vibes Nation, noting he'll be there for the production. "I was wondering why I hadn't apped in Australia," he joked. Of course, Garner didn't share any additional details, and it remains unclear what exactly will happen in the movie. It's presumed that the surviving main characters will return, while others who weren't featured in the first movie, like Johnny Cage and Katana, will be brought in. No new casting information has yet been announced, so if those or other fan favorites from the video games are going to debut in the sequel, it remains unknown who might be playing any of them. We will likely find out more as we get closer to the start of production. Mortal Kombat didn't quite light the box office on fire like Top Gun: Maverick upon its release in 2021, which was still notably part of the pandemic era. It pulled in over $84 million, which was still a profit compared to the $55 million budget, but not quite enough to have Warner Bros. Rushing to order a sequel. However, the movie drew very high viewership when it started streaming on HBO Max, and that had executives realizing that the audience for Mortal Kombat is out there. Perhaps the audience will have a larger turnout when the sequel is released, with so many more fans potentially looking forward to Part 2 after watching the film on HBO Max.
Shazam. Fury of the Gods director pokes fun at the sequel with half-star review. With Shazam, Fury of the Gods coming up short with filmgoers upon its release, director David F. Sandberg is making the best of it by satirizing the criticism. Hitting theaters last month, the Shazam sequel was directed by Sandberg, who is back in the director's chair after helming the first movie. The movie managed to make just over $131 at the worldwide box office, a bomb given the high budget that it took to produce the project, and making matters worse was a mixed critical reception, giving Fury of the Gods a 49% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Sandberg has since taken to Letterboxd to essentially spoof the negativity that's been leveled at the film. Per Screen Rant, the filmmaker shared a 1.5-star review for Shazam, Fury of the Gods, using his real name and taking a dig at the director of the movie along with himself. He writes, "Billy and Shazam have different personalities. I really wish someone would point this out to the director. Unwatchable." Sandberg had previously spoken about his real thoughts on Shazam, Fury of the Gods coming up short with its release. In a Twitter thread, she pointed to the movie's audience score, which is much higher at 86%, finding it amusing how this film somehow set new records for his lowest critical score and highest audience score at Rotten Tomatoes. He also suggested he was stepping away from the superhero genre for a while, though he stood by the quality of Shazam, too. "I wasn't expecting a repeat of the first movie critically, but I was still a little surprised because I think it's a good film," he said. "Oh well, as I've been saying for a while now, I'm very eager to get back to horror, as well as trying some new things. After 6 years of Shazam, I'm definitely done with superheroes for now." He added, "Just to be clear, I don't regret for 1 second making the Shazam movies. I've learned so much and gotten to work with some truly amazing people. Will forever be grateful that I got to direct 2 of these. They've been very challenging but valuable experiences. One thing I've really been looking forward to is disconnecting from his superhero discourse online. A lot of that stresses me out so much, and it will be nice not having to think about that anymore." Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Once and Always clip puts Zack and Rocky back in action. A new clip from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Once and Always has been released, per IGN. Coming to Netflix on April 19, the movie brings back several of the cast members from the original seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The new clip features Zack, Walter E. Jones, who was part of the original cast as the first Black Ranger, teaming up with Rocky, Steve Cardenas, who became the second Red Ranger starting in Season 2. The scene is just as amusing as it is action-packed, thanks to Zack busting out his hip-hop keto movies. Other original stars from early Mighty Morphin Power Rangers include Catherine Sutherland, the second Pink Ranger, Johnny Bosch, the second Black Ranger, and Karen Ashley, the second Yellow Ranger. Charlie Kirsch is introduced in a key role as Min, the daughter of Trini, who wants vengeance following her mother's demise. The cast also includes Barbara Goodson and Richard Stephen Horvitz, respectively, as Rita Repulsa and Alpha 5. Charlie Haskell, Power Rangers, SPD, directs the feature film with the script coming from Becca Barnes and Alwyn Dale. Power Rangers Dino Charge. Ron Wasserman, who did the music for the original TV series Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, also returned to compose the music for the new special. While many originals are returning for the special, some fans will notice some missing favorites. Fui Trang, the original Yellow Ranger, passed away in 2001. Green Ranger actor Jason David Frank passed away last year, though he had previously turned down the Netflix special, as he was focused on developing his own movie Legend of the White Dragon. Original Red Ranger Austin Street John was dealing with legal trouble last year, which might suggest why he's not involved with the film. Original Pink Ranger Amy Jo Johnson has also said she didn't want to come out of acting retirement for what was offered, though she's developing her own separate comic book series about the Power Rangers. The Boogeyman trailer brings Stephen King's novel to the big screen. Just keep telling yourself, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real, as you watch the new trailer for Stephen King's The Boogeyman through the spaces between your fingers. Released courtesy of 20th Century Studios, The Boogeyman will bring the King novel of the same name to the big screen later this year. 20th Century Studios and 21 Laps present The Boogeyman, a horror thriller from the mind of best-selling author Stephen King. The Boogeyman follows high school student Sadie Harper and her younger sister Sawyer, who have been left reeling from the recent death of their mother and aren't getting much support from their father, Will, a therapist who is dealing with his own pain. When a desperate patient unexpectedly shows up at their home seeking help, he leaves behind a terrifying supernatural entity that preys on families and feeds on the suffering of its victims. Directed by Rob Savage, host, with a screenplay by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, A Quiet Place, and Mark Heyman, Black Swan, and based upon the short story by Stephen King, The Boogeyman stars Sophie Thatcher, Yellow Jackets, Chris Messina, Birds of Prey, Vivian Lyra Blair, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Marin Ireland, The Umbrella Academy, Madison Hu, Bizarre, Lissavie Hamilton Vice, and David Dasmalkian, Dune. The Boogeyman is produced by Stranger Things Sean Levy as well as Dan Levine, Arrival, and Dan Cohen, The Adam Project, with Emily Morris, Rosaline, John H. Stark, Sicario, Scott Beck, Brian Woods, Adam Kolbrenner, The Tomorrow War, Ryan Cunningham, and Robin Meisinger serving as executive producers. The Boogeyman promises to terrify audiences everywhere when it lands in theaters in June, with director Rob Savage recently revealing that changes had to be made to the movie a certain moment was deemed too scary.